Hello, everybody. It's me, RUV, and I'm sick. I know. It's fun. Everything is going around right now, and managed to get sick from my brother, of all places.
Gee, I wonder if it had anything to do with going from 70 to 7 degrees.
Well, I'm indoors most of the time, so I don't have to worry about that.
You can still get it, though. I mean, it still has an effect.
Well, my brother came from 90-degree weather and came up here to Wisconsin, so he was already sick before he came up, because he has to do guard duty and stuff. And then he was working, he didn't get a chance to sleep at all. So he's, working, all these crazy hours. And he has to drive 2 hours to Madison from here every day, or wherever he's going.
Well,
So
if you want, I'll talk like this so you feel at home.
wah, 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 wah.
I'll put that in my head code.
Okay, coach,
That's hard to do. It's hard to sound sick if you're not.
It's always the ones that don't sound sick that are the sickest. That's a different type of sickness, though. But yeah, I got about 6 books this week.
Keep going. Oh, warning track power.
All right. Not particular order. I mean, I guess I'll put the Dick Tracy up a little higher on my list. It was a pretty good issue. All right. Vampires Camilla did come in this week, so I'll show off those books. I got all 3 back issues. So let me make myself full screen here. Oh, not that one. This one. There we go. Well, here's the facsimile this week for Betty and me. Number 1. So I didn't realize how old this book was first. So, or at least we had number 1. I thought that was just a random number, but it was actually an original. So it has all the stuff in here. So I love these old stories. It doesn't tell me the original date on this, but I'm guessing it's probably 50s. Do you think, with this art?
Yeah, that looks 50s-ish.
Yeah, because it has stuff here. I don't know if the whole book's gonna be like 50s. I'm guessing maybe it is, because all the ads are like early 50s. So I figured, why not? And they get these cool toy ads. These are awesome. So that's cool. Do you need extra money? $100 is yours. The Cheerful Card Company. That's kind of cool. Who's the one that collects all the ads? Excited over the ads? What fossil was that? I'm trying to remember. Is that Rod? He's asking to someone not listening. Is that Rod that likes all this the ads, or which fossil was that? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I remember there's one who was like, real. All he cared about was the ads, the books. I imagine they probably all do, but I thought there was specifically one that only liked the ads. Like, got a kick out of it, collecting, looking at the toy ads. Maybe it was Gratu. I know Gratu likes a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. Going into number 6 for this week is Supergirl, featuring Boy Thunder. Kind of nice. It's finally connecting over to some of the books. Because I thought for the most part, it felt like it was a standalone book. Of course, we only get an ad right here for the new Superman thing, Spider-Man book. I'm not getting. Pretty much every writer on there, I have no care for. Let's see. We got Tom King, don't care. Matt Fraction, don't care. Sean Gordon Murphy, okay, maybe, maybe he might do a story. Gail Simone, don't care. Christopher Priest, bleh, gave me spoon. Greg Rucka, watch for the lesbian Lois Lane story. Jeff Lemire, overrated. Art by Jim Lee. I wonder when his book was being created first. He's a late artist. Steve Lieber, Sean Murphy's also doing art again too. Daniel Samper, who's actually is probably gonna be in the Tom Gig story because they work together on Wonder Woman. Nicola Scott, good artist, but it's not enough for me to go and pick up that. I was like, nah, no thanks.
No, that should have been done as a standalone. Remember the Superman that came out last year, the tabloid size one?
Should have came out right after it.
It was probably the best thing that we read last year.
Yeah.
It should have been like the other two were. This just feels like another crossover, and it shouldn't be.
No. It's kind of like, I mean,
there's two Silver Surfer things there. The replicas of 1 and 4.
That's the comic box.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. That's cool. If I wasn't selling my collection, I'd get one and put some of them in.
I needed a box, and I was like, okay, I'll just grab it. So whatever. Now my camera's gonna be all messed up. All right, so Supergirl is this week. We're just going into the battle, basically Battle City Kandor, because something's happening out, and turns out that Les Alar is working with her cousin, who is kind of like evil at this point, and they're mad because she's taking advantage of Les Alar, who's a very smart genius, and they use that science scoop that she had originally experimented on, the purple stuff, a couple issues back, and they're attacking Kandor. The science cell people, all the adults, lock themselves surprisingly in a vault, so they don't have to deal with this crap. Go right out the storm. Les Alar and her her cousin, known as the Black Flame. Sorry, I'm sick right now. Pretty much are trying to take over, and they're basically trying to they want to rule Kandor, and they want to use the science labs because they're mad because basically what happened, we found a couple issues prior to this. Les Alar realized that the hidden secret that the adults have been keeping from the other Kandorian citizens. Eventually, they will shrink back to normal size if they ever try to leave the bottle city, and they're permanently altered that way. Everyone is, so no one can leave ever. And the kids are upset about that. Les Alar is being taken advantage of by her cousin, who basically wants to use it to cause destruction. So without her super genes, Les Alar is back to being hot. Sorry, she don't have those fat cake legs anymore. And if that's sexist, oh well. I mean, fat is fat. But I noticed that all of a sudden we're back to being like we normally are in the comic books. It was interesting that they actually had her gain those thick thighs. But I think maybe people at DC said, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't do that anymore. Because we want superheroes to look like superheroes. People who can actually are in shape. I mean, she wasn't fat, but if you remember how if they over exaggerated her hips, they made her. I was like crazy. She had thunder hips,
thick with 2 C's.
Yes, two C's, as to say, like she's working at a Walmart. Yeah. So pretty much they steal her ring, so that basically Supergirl is trying to convince Les Alar to basically help her. The ring she was wearing was a golden ring that basically keeps her as enough storage solar energy so she can use her powers in the bottle. But she ends up getting her ass kicked pretty much in this whole entire issue, which is shocking. This whole issue is a catfight, if you're wondering. It really is. And Supergirl gets stabbed, pretty much. And literally, yeah, it's just like she's pleading with her and like telling her, like, hey, Lessa, hey, don't do this. This isn't right. This isn't you. She's using you. And just basically cliche trope or girl who's kind of like doesn't know what to do. She's on the initiative, but we get Supergirl getting knocked off a cliff here. And then, of course, Les Alar is like, It's like, oh no! It's like, and her cousin's like, don't worry, Supergirl can fly. And at the end is where we get to see Connor asking, her name was, what's her name? Lucy?
Lena.
That's right. Asking where Supergirl is. And then, of course, we have Boy Thunder, who's waiting in the shadows. Just some Boy Thunder. And then, of course, at the end here, we get this awesome preview for Lobo by Scotty Young. I am actually looking forward to this. This is the same personality of Lobo we got from the animated Superman series in the 90s. And it's just full of humor and just well done. For a Scotty Young book, it's just insane. I'm looking forward to buying this. So let's go on sale this March. Then they're doing something. DC's finally doing something. For those who like collecting coins, yeah, United States Men, you can get one. Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman. Those are kind of cool. Green Lantern, Batgirl, Aquaman. Wait, no. I guess there isn't Batman on there. Or is it supposed to be Batman? It is Batman on there, yeah. It says 2025 Liberty coins, comic coin and metal program on the Legacy today. Power up your collection with DC's greatest superheroes and all new original designs stuck in 1 or 2.5 ounce silver medals or 1.5 ounce 24 karat gold proof coins. Subscribe now. Lock in the 1 ounce silver medal for each upcoming release in this collection. So it looks pretty cool if you want to do that. If you're a coin collector. All right. Number 5 for this week is Emperor Aquaman, also known as Aquaman number 15, but they're changing the title here because, well, he's taking out a new moniker, and this is kind of cool. So we started off with basically Arthur. It's a kid version of him. We don't know where, but he's somewhere inside the blue. Because last issue, Mara's mother basically almost killed him or something. She stole his power and banished him. So then, as he's in the water, he's standing there, and then someone's coming up out of the water. We have no idea who it is, at first, until we see it's an old man version of him. So I'm like, okay, we're going to do some time travel kind of hijinks, And I love it because we get, the classic thing, where the boy's scared, doesn't want to swim. He's like, nonsense, you should, you'd be fine with me. I'd ride my back. I love this, the outrageous from the Brave and the Bold cartoon. So they go swimming in the ocean here. Meanwhile, Mara's fighting for her life against her corrupt mother, who basically was free from her spell prison, and is trying to she's trying to use the new city of Zubbo. She raised it last issue up out of the water, and she's going to attack the surface dwellers and stuff. Mara realizes her only chance to basically connect with Arthur, because it'd probably be his trident, because it has she can feel his presence in it, because it was made from part of his soul. So as she's fighting, she doesn't have her water powers anymore because Arthur got him because of that stupid Lazarus event. But so Mara's being belittled by that. Meanwhile, inside this little blue everything, they come across Arthur, and you get the present day, who's pretty much kind of given up on everything. He's comfortable where he is. He doesn't have to worry about anything. Because remember, in the main series, he thinks that his wife is dead, and his daughter just turned on him or whatever she was. So he's distraught, and they all pretty much come together and reason with him. Hey, you can't do this. This is, are you stupid? But then, it's like, what kind of man are you? You're a coward. But then he hears Mara's voice calling out to him, just saying, Arthur, come, I need you. Come back to me. So they decided to leave the blue together by holding hands and singing Kumbaya. And then Arthur's back, and Mara's mother is kind of pissed off. Like, how are you back? And he's like, well, bitch, I'm part of the blue. I am the blue. So pretty much, and disperses her. And then we get this finally after so many issues. We get them embracing the families back together, and Arthur decides to use what he learned from the Blue to dispel the magic Mary's mother was using to hide Atlantis. And he's got a little trident, kind of like a water thing. I love it. And then a lot of people some people were mixed on this. They're like, it's always on League Comics. I love it. Reading the comments, they're like, oh, Mary once again didn't do anything whatsoever. It's always the man coming in to save her. Where you been for the past 60 years? That's right. You weren't reading comics. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. They're like, oh my gosh, it's so sexist. The woman, her husband has to come save her. It's like, it's called they love each other. She'll come save him or he comes saves her. It's equal opportunity, But in their mind, it's always the woman has to be the one that does everything and the guy's useless. Those are the women that don't deserve to read books or being part of entertainment. I'm sorry. If that's how you feel. And I don't think women are useless. I think women can fight too, hold their own. But they also know when they're out battle because like a true leader does. Same with the guys; they ask for help. So now basically he's a new age. Arthur says, he says we've been content to stay below the surface to help our world when we can and do little else. But our world is just one of many. Out there we have a chance to safeguard our world by saving others. We can stop the threats of the universe before they crash out on our shores. My father told me that the lighthouse must cast out darkness to lead those in stormy seas to safety. So he says, so this is our lighthouse, connection to the blue, a way to shine our light across the cosmos and keep the darkness at bay. Who will join me in my new quest to protect not just the seas of this world, but the seas of all the other ones too? So we're going to get that. And then, more Cosmic Adventures, baby. I don't know. Then, of course, Greg Rucka is coming back on Batwoman with art by Danny. Danny's really a good artist. I just don't trust Rucka at DC. Every time Rucka does anything at DC, it's very very political. And I guess we're getting a preview for another book that I'm reading. Batman is getting a preview in an Aquaman book. Okay, whatever. The Joker's back. That's what it says. Ooh, Joker's back. But yeah. All right. Number 4 is Dick Tracy. Dick Tracy, this is the one shot St. Patrick's Day special with 2 stories. A backup story by by Tim Seeley. Here's the back cover. This was $7. I think it feels thicker than the other books. Oh, it's probably 40 pages. I'm guessing. But the main story is that if you follow the series, that Dick Tracy has a new partner that helped him out defeat the guy the last time. I think his name was Sam. But it starts out. This is also by Alex Segura and Michael Morecki. Irish Goodbye, and Tim Seeley does the backstory called The Short of It with Rebecca Isaacs on art. But starts off at a rich people's party. This guy talks about how he's a criminal, but he says he did some stuff, petty stuff. But when I was in joint, I learned who the real criminals are: the rich people. Because the rich people have the ways they do stuff legally, do the racketeering. They don't use a gun. They're the most dangerous. I'm like, what is this book? I thought Tim Seeley was writing it first, so I was a little bit annoyed by this. About a guy who thinks that the rich people are bad, so he's gonna go and murder this guy because this guy ran they're painted as dirty people, and this guy basically he said he did an inside trade scam. I think he did. Yeah. No. Yeah, you're the banker who ran the investment scam with Elders Pensions. Yeah, he's like, that was a legitimate business opportunity, a fair offer to get lucrative turn. It can't be blamed for not working out. But it did work out, and you got rich. So he ends up shooting the guy at the sex party, and then we get to see Uh, yeah, his new partner. It's the younger guy from the. I forget what the other older man's name is. It's been all. Yeah. All right. But anyway, so turns out this guy is going around to different crooked politicians or not politicians, but crooked rich people and offer them one by one. Goes up to a senator, and then he kills a senator. Now, and he says like, yeah, it's like an all, you know, I mean, yeah, and we'll have prosperity, and everyone will have their share, and your words, lad, from your accepted speech. But some have had more prosperity than others. When just say, and the guy's like, I'm a self-made man. I earned everything. He's like, your daddy owns the city's biggest paper, and he uses millions to fund your campaign. Not only that, but he uses publication to smear your opponent and build you up to be what is the phrase? Yes, a champion of the working man. Tell me more about how you're self-made. And like I said, like I'm just at this point, I'm not really liking the writing. I don't care for the story. Some of you might like this. This sounds like an SJW story. I'm sorry. That's the truth. It is. It sounds like someone who hates rich people, thinks that all rich people should give away their money to all the people, working people. You know, it's just, I hate that mindset. So at the end, they figure out who his next target is with a clue. And after talking to Mousy, she's becomes their informant. She knows, I know the guy is Irish. He leaves a Fort Clover at the end after every kill. So they figure out where he's going to go to. I think he's going to go after the governor next. He's already killed off senator in the newspaper stuff. But of course, they meet him there, and Tracy says, he says, yeah, it's his partner Sam, and the guy. Okay, so at the very end of this, after they capture the guy, this is what Tracy says. Tracy says, he says, because you murdered those people wrong. It was wrong. It's like, how many died from, and the guy's like, how many died from desperate and unable to get a new job? How many kids lost their pa or mom because they had to work terrible hours to put people on the food? And Tracy comes and says, don't do it, Sam. He's like, Tracy? I was like, oh, well, color me green with envy, Tracy, says the bad guy. The bad guy says, like, you've gone yourself conscious. And the governor's like, I need to get my lawyer on the phone immediately. And Tracy says, two things can exist at once, Keys. Murder is wrong. Breaking the law is wrong. But so are the criminals, crimes Josh Periwinkle committed. And in my view, you both have the same of some time to serve. Yeah. And that's kind of how it ends. So the guy still goes away for murder because that's wrong too. But I'm like, I don't know. Brain, what are your takes on that? I'm curious because I did not like the story. I thought it was a waste. I thought Tim Seeley was writing it. That's how bad it sounded.
Well, I was only half paying attention, but anything that says rich people bad as a default, just that's lazy.
Yeah. What's up to Leo Alonso? Yeah. I'm not reading anything. This is just we're reviewing. There's a new book came out this week, St. Patrick's Day special. I didn't bother to read the Tim Seeley story at the back because, one, I didn't have time, and two, I really probably won't go read it because I just don't care to read anything after I read that in the main book and story. But we do get
who wrote that?
Theo Segura and Morkery, the main writers of the actual ongoing series.
Wow, that's weird.
I know. It makes me wonder.
The series has been so good.
Yeah, I know. Volume 3 comes out is available in May. You can collect the whole entire trade. But I don't know. Maybe this is a one shot.
Well, maybe they just let their freak flag fly for that one.
Get under your system.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3 for this week for me is Transformers, number 30. I got the Invincible variants, but this whole month is all the variants are through Image and Skybound. It's going to be Invincible on the cover or characters from Invincible. So we got Robot Man versus Soundwave and Rumble versus Invincible. That looks pretty cool. So, and this was $3.99, even though the variants. All right, so we have Dan Mora on the art, Robert Kirkman doing the writing on this, and I just pop for when I see like Optimus Prime or any of these art just drawn by Dan Mora. Dan Mora is just like a freak of nature when it comes to drawing animated characters or just in general. I think this fits more than what he does with when he's doing Batman and Robin, or not Batman and Robin, but World's Finest. He was doing stuff like that. I think he does much better with robot characters because it seems more because this is more a fantasy base, and that's kind of like his art is. So we have RC shows up from Cybertron, and she's pissed that Optimus Prime is spending all his time fighting Megatron and doesn't give a shit about the war that's going on Cybertron for the past million years. And she's mad, and she doesn't think he's fit to be Prime. And then she gets upset, pulls a Batgirl Gastalucci, and wants to challenge him for the right of Prime. Prime won't fight her because he doesn't believe that. What he's doing, they caused a mess on Earth by leading the Decepticons here and now. And of course, she's the total come up with a total. See you next Tuesday. And eventually, she tries attacking one of their friends who gets involved. So, well, he punches her because sometimes you need to slap a woman. Thank you, Sean Connery. So. Carly shows up with the new Transformer. And they're like, what's going on here? And it's just like, it's like, you banned your post. You don't deserve the Matrix leaders. Give it to me. And she tries to rip it out of his chest. I'm like, that's murder. That's attempted murder right there. And everyone's watching this. They're like, what the heck? You get this cool panel here. You're like, what the heck's going on? Even Prime's like kind of like freaked out by this. Yeah. So we get into finally she gives up. She's she couldn't get it out, and she's sitting there before Prime, and Prime's like pretty much. Leo, I'm live on vertical and horizontal, so you're on the vertical stream right now for YouTube. I'm on the normal horizontal as well. So if you go to the homepage, there's another link. And you can actually see it much better because I'm kind of like going back and forth on the vertical like this, but if I'm on the horizontal, I just hold it up. Yeah. So she's like the Matrix, and Prime says the Matrix cannot be taken. Autobot leadership cannot be earned through violence. That's not her way. And she's like, I'm sorry, and so and he basically says maybe your steadfast interpretation is what the Autobots require in these dark times. Maybe we do need a new leader, but the leader, must be chosen. So he opens up the Matrix thing and see if it opens up, and he does it. And of course, the bright light happens after all this. And they're like, "What's going on?" And a lot of people, this was leaked. And so now she's the new Prime. Optimus is no longer Optimus Prime. He's just regular Optimus. So he's back to his default setting. And everyone's kind of like shocked. Like, it's like, what? So now she's Alita Prime. Cue the action figure debut. Everyone's going to go crazy for. And we get the shot of Optimus as his normal self without the Prime. And how he thinks he's going to be able to attack or defeat Megatron, just being incredibly, weak. So. And she asked, I'm going to Cybertron. Who'll come with me? And after this, and I love it. It's like, well, only a few people end up going back with her. The most of them stay behind with Prime because that Prime is actually the real leader, not this girl who thinks she needs the Prime Matrix in order to take over or win the war in Cybertron. So we got a new Prime, one without the face guard, and he's a little smaller. So, yeah, I don't know. A lot of people were upset about this. They said, of course, when Kirkman takes over the book, he gives the Prime. First thing he does is give away the Optimus's balls to a female robot. Lets her be the man. He could have just said, you know what? Here's some of my guys. Take them with you, and they can help you fight against, on Cybertron. I'm keeping the Matrix. you know. But because he pretty much got cucked in this. I hated it. But while I love the art though so much, so great. So I'm torn. So I wouldn't say it's a 5-star. I'd say it's more like a 3.5. Yeah. But what is going on in the chat? We got some messages here. There. Uh-oh. All right. There you guys go. You can see each other, I think. All right. In the chat we got here going on here. We got I held myself when I saw people not crying, understanding why Raiders left X-Men. Okay, talking about that. Yeah. All right. Number 2 for the week is Archie of Darkness. Archie of Darkness. Yeah, exactly. That sounds like a better title, isn't it? Archie versus the Army of Darkness. Number 2, The Dynamite. Eric Burnham, the writer who's currently on IDW's Saturday Morning Adventures, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, former writer of the IDW's Ghostbusters, is telling a story where Archie, and it's set in like the Archie universe, which I love about this. It's a brand new S-Mart. Archie got a job there so he could buy these new dolls, that the girls want. So this is kind of like the first issue. We saw them all at the Reggie's new lake house, and they play the tape, and all the Deadites came. This is previously a couple hours earlier, that day, and Ash shows him out of the ropes how to deal with individuals, certain tail types, a lot of hijinks. Gives his first paycheck, and of course he skedaddles out of there right away, like classic Archie fashion. And he goes there, and then his car won't start. Classic Army Darkness, And so Ash comes out, sees him there. He's like, where's we going? He's like, oh, yeah, we got this cabin in the middle of the woods. And he's like, what? Middle of the woods? And like, and he's like, nothing bad can happen in the middle of the woods. And you're like, okay, fine. And then, of course, we got in the middle of the ads here, we got the new Thundercats Silverhawks crossover coming out through Dynamite. Yeah, because this is a Dynamite book, not IDW. Which is interesting because usually Eric Berman, I've only ever seen him on IDW. All right. So he shows up at the lake house. So he gives them the dogs. The girls, Brady and Veronica are squealing. They love him. They give him a kiss. And then something happens. Well, Jughead learns that there's food. So he zips out of there like the Flash. Meanwhile, Ash is debating if he should leave or not. He says it's kind of eerie out there. He's like, well, maybe I should go check on the kid, it could be nothing. Grabs his gear, goes with them, and as it does, he hears a rumble. He's like, oh, it could be a normal rumble. Doesn't have to be a Deadite rumble. He's trying to stay hopeful. Grabs his shotgun out of his bag. I'll give it a preview for Origin of Evil of Member That Ever Living. I think it says on here. Covers by Danny Earls stuff. I'm not sure if it shows the creative team on here yet. But anyway, so yeah, and there's some other Thunderhawks. Really weird. I don't. Read my Ed Brisson. So a lot of crossover stuff. He shows up at the cabin. You notice that a lot of the Deadites are kind of like, okay, the kids run away, but he saw this kid. He's like, oh, I'm out of bullets. So the kids run away. He's like, oh, well, sorry, kid. You're on your own. Crawls in through a window. And, of course, the kids are locked in. Break the present time. They're locked inside the room here. The deadbolt. And the guy's kind of like, hey, give me one of your hot chicks in there. And like, I'll let you live. He's like, and Reggie's like, well, I mean, which one? The blonde? Okay. And they look at him like, really, Reggie? He's like, what? Survival of the fittest. And, of course, Ash shows up. And then it's like, oh, it's the chosen one. And Ash goes over to Reggie and pretty much tells him, like, dude, did you really? You didn't happen to play a tape, did you? And judging by how arrogant you are, you're probably the idiot that played the tape or read from the book. And turns out it was Archie. He's like, oh, yeah, it was actually me. I did it. Yeah. So now they have to worry about because those gifts that Archie got the girls, now they're alive. They're possessed by Deadites, and they're going to attack them. So far, we haven't seen the chainsaw in this book. We've only seen the shotgun and his metal hand from Army of Darkness. But the chainsaw is on this variant cover by the main artist, Bill Gavin. This is cover B, and this was $5. All right. Number 1 book of the week is Dork. Number 2. Got the Invincible cover, just like the other one. So, I forgot what the main guy, with the what his name is in the Invincible series. I want to say Kevin. I'm not sure, but he's also wearing Battle Beast's head as a belt thing. And then we have the evil brain guy. Basically all the villains from Invincible's villains are all heads on stakes. So that's kind of cool. All right. So we're brought back to the world of Dork. If you've not checked out Dork, you missed out a couple weeks ago. That book is still $85. The Ash Can, the preview they had, is going for $300. Crazy. But in the world of Dork, it's a high fantasy land. We have the scar in the middle. Here, you see it here. There's a light in the dark. The scar is where constantly the light and the dark are always battling. Turns out that, Dork, he's half dwarf and half orc. He's half light, half dark. And everyone wants to kill him because they think he's going to bring across the doom of the whole entire universe of the planet. Mainly because he's a hybrid. Remember, because light doesn't like dark, and dark doesn't like light, but he's like the joining the both of them, showing that there can be peace. Yeah. And the last week, there's a chicken's head floating in there, and he's kind of like, so you're wondering who this is? The chicken is basically the guy who ran the tavern where him and his talking shield, basically he's bloodthirsty, got into a fight with some people there because they're picking on the chicken. But in his berserker rage, he decapitated the chicken with the shield, and now the chicken's head is now basically haunting him. But they keep the body around because the body, whenever you cut the head of a chicken, it's still active, runs around. So, and the chicken keeps asking him stupid questions. Why are we doing this with this? And he's like, the shield's like, and it says the Dork is like, you are aware that he has no blood running to his head anymore. That's why he's so dumb. And they get up there, finally on this cliff because they're trying to avoid everyone who's trying to hunt them, kill them. They come across all these like dead people there, and they're light and dark. They don't know what's going on, but then all these little like orphans show up, and they have like future tech knives that are able to like if they cut you, they can age you. They're time thieves, pretty much. They steal your time, and so he learns that, and the shield tells him this, and he doesn't want to fight against kids, but he's like, the guy's like, dude, if you don't, we're going to die. And I prefer that you be alive because I don't feel like sitting an eternity on this freaking rock. So eventually they start defending themselves, beating up the kids and stuff. Even the chicken's kind of running around. Because he's a chicken who runs away. His body runs away and hide. Only to get stabbed, and they basically turn his body into a pile of ash. So he's kind of like, okay. A lot of simple kids humor in this. Yeah. Of course, then they run into a Time Lord. On this nice page here. Basically, he says, like, because he's like, who are you? It's like, well, all these children here are orphans because their parents keep fighting against me. So I gave them purpose in their trifling moment of their lives. And pretty much Dork is like, he's told his shield wants like, hey, we gotta leave. He's like, no, I want to save these kids. So he goes after them, they attack the guy. But then, of course, because of this, he gets getting his ass kicked a little bit. And, he gets turned, his body gets stabbed multiple by the blades, and then he basically just crumples down. So now that the Dork is supposedly dead in this, turns out the chicken, the ghost, possesses the Time Lord and then takes over his body and is able to use his magic powers to rewind time so that Dork is alive and they use it to basically free the kid. Free the kids from their stuff. But it also rewinds enough time so they can actually get revive all the adults, all the assassins, would be assassins that would kill him normally. But Dork says, like, I don't give a shit about the destroying anything. I just want to live, and that's it. I don't care. I'm not. It's like, I want to be left alone. He's like, but these kids, though, they don't deserve to be orphans. Like, give them a second chance. So the people are shocked that he spared them. So the light and the dark take the kids and give them a home at the end of this. And then, of course, at the end, after they leave, they left him in a time loop, pretty much. So he keeps dying and coming back for the Time Lord. So he's stuck like that, bound. He's approached by this guy with a giant mallet. And it's like, where is he? He's like, it's like, oh, they went west. He's like, free me. He's like, no, I'll and he kills the guy, and that's really much how it goes and ends. Fantastic book. Really enjoying this. Here's a back cover with the chicken. Rated teen for teens. The Ordained, I don't even have a single copy of it in my shops. And then the only one that read it was Geoff. If he shows up tonight, you can ask him about that. So this was cover C because it was the very cover. This was $3.99 for this. Fantastic story, drawn and written by Brett Bean. And then they have the colorist and the inker. So the letter. Fantastic story. Other books I got this week. Well, they all finally came in. Vampirus Carmella's magazine, number 29, was a back issue. These are all pretty much like the original Vampirella magazines, where this Vampirus Carmella pretty much is she hosts them. Tells her stories. If you, it's all done in black and white, and there is nudity and all that stuff. It is a magazine. It's pretty much going back to the 70s style of when you could do everything, go around and get away from the code, because the code wouldn't let you do stuff like this. Here's the January's issue. Also came out finally. So, yeah. Marani, it's kind of like I Hate Fairyland humor. But people I've been reading up on for Dork. All right, and then here's the other one I got. Vampirus Carmella, number 31 for March. So, yeah. So, fantastic books. I've enjoyed them. Haven't got a chance to read these ones, though. These are these guys that I just got them yesterday. And I haven't been feeling well. I'm under the weather. I'm blowing my nose, sneezing, all that stuff, But that's all I got for this week. Gonna sneeze now. All right. Suppose Geoff's gonna be coming in here soon. Maybe not. I don't know. Oh, all right. We'll do this, I guess. All right. Go over some comments here. Is it okay? Ready to ordain? Let's see here. The work is over with the theft and weapon incident. It was an impactful cover. Yeah. It does say that there's an audience for those type of comics. There is, and here's the thing. I've always thank you for cheeseburger. The way I kind of like judge my books, I find writers. Sometimes I'll take a chance. Dork was a chance. I never heard this creator whatsoever, but I've noticed too, like whenever I really like a book, I go to a League of Comic Geeks, and there's people who absolutely hate the book, and there's so many people who hate Jeremy Adams' writing. They don't like him whatsoever. They think it sucks. So they're it's like and I love his writing. So I don't know. I think maybe people just hate the hate, but I don't base my books on what I like off of what people hate, though. But it's funny though when I go look up a book, it's like all of a sudden, oh, someone doesn't like this, and then and they're mad because it's popular. Hey, I don't complain about WE. That's popular, but I don't sit here and like, oh my gosh, it's horrible. I got to write a 4-paragraph, reason why this week's episode sucked. Yeah. I did not get Absolute Batman. I've just not been really a fan of the book at all. And now I do admit there are some crazy moments in there, but I think it's so absurd at the point where it's like, I just want a normal Batman book, and I'm not a fan of Fractions either. Fractions has his issue, probably the last Batman story I liked was First or Second Night by Dan Jurgens, was a Golden Age stuff. Before that was Dark Waters, Batman Dark Waters, or no, Dark Patterns. Right, Dan Waters is the writer of that, the 12-issue maxi series, which is like really good. Solo detective story, and then all connected at the end. Can't say much for him on Nightwing. Not because I don't like Nightwing, it's just that it just wasn't that great. Feral 22 is getting I Hate Fairyland covers. Hey, I saw that they're doing some crossover stuff, which is kind of interesting. Feral's been a really good book. It's a creator of Stray Dogs, Tony Fleeks, who is actually going to be taking on Deathstroke coming out this month, I believe, right? I'm not sure. I think it's this month, but he's going to take on a new Deathstroke, #1, and it's supposed to be Tony Fleeks writing it. So I might pick up a Deathstroke book. But basically, if you guys have never read Stray Dogs, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it is drawn like, Disney kind of style, kind of like as far as the art goes, with Trisha Forrester. And Feral is pretty much the same thing too. Totally, it's the same art, but a group of cats that were still they're taken from their home, and the ambulance are there, and the pound truck crashes, goes off a cliff. And they escape, and now they're stuck in a world, or at least they're trying to make it back home. But all the animals around them have rabies. So it's don't get scratched, don't get bit. It's kind of like a Walking Dead kind of situation. They got to avoid, and they got to work together. They meet people along the way. So it's really interesting. The fact it's all like Disney kind of animated kind of style, as far as like the Aristocats, if you've ever watched that. It's what makes it even much more fun, because I've always said, we always zombie stuff, but I never get to see anything like Disney World. I would love to see Disney World, in a zombie thing. And the closest we got to that was Zombie Land. But then there was at Coney Park. I love like zombies in amusement parks. Those are always fun. Hitting with the mallet or whatever, But Oberon had other companies I need to jump into dark humor maybe. Like Joe A, when they were humorous, I used to laugh a lot. I was a kid reading those. Oh, they mean the original Keith Gibbons ones? Those are great. The Baja era in the 80s. Those are great. I've never reminded Batman in years. It's just I don't know how to write Batman. Yeah, they don't know. I think they do. I think for the most part, some of them do know how to write it, but the whole consensus is that they have a narrative they want to put out. You're not allowed to, except if they really wanted to have Batman be good again, they would bring back Chuck Dixon, but they don't like Chuck Dixon's his mind of thinking, And they're also cheapskates. They don't want to pay people. But DC, I'll say this though, DC, from what I've heard, does pay better than Marvel does. So that's why you see a lot of people when they go to DC, they really don't go back over to Marvel. Another person we were talking about on Tuesday is Mark Millar. Mark Millar, people hate on him for everything. I know it's all kinds of people come out of the woodworks and just hate Mark Millar. He's the creator of The Boys. Oh my gosh, it's a horrible, disgusting book.
No, he isn't.
What?
Garth Ennis did The Boys.
Oh, was it Garth Ennis? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, my bad. But he did. No, he did Red Son, Superman.
They hate Mark Millar because he sided against the Whisper Network. And the comic book profession and the fan base is so left wing that they in their minds he's to the right of Trump, even though he's a liberal guy. Well, and here's the thing, though. I was gonna say what I like about Mark Millar, and not all his books are great. I mean, I do enjoy the ones I read. Was it Night Watch? What was it called? Night? Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Night Force? Nightclub.
There's so many of them. And yeah, So he wrote that, and he wrote a few other ones, and I liked it. I loved the what he did with Now I didn't like Huck. I thought Huck ended kind of weird. Well, I didn't care for that. But
you know what I like best about Miller's books?
What's that?
Very political.
Oh yeah, that's true. As I said, they're not political. And I was also going to say to point out that he brings artists over and he pays them way more than Marvel and DC. So a lot of them are trying to get deals, trying to work with him all the time. They love it. No, Nemesis. I read the original Nemesis before Reloaded came out, and at the end, Nemesis, spoiler, the book is from like 2011 or something, or 2000, a little bit earlier than that. The good guy wins.
Did Mark Miller take his books from Image to Dark Horse or Dark Horse to Image?
The Dark Horse.
Well, he left Image. That might be why you're not seeing any.
Yeah,
they're in flux. I don't know. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the main guy gets fired. Now, my only thing is like, I would love to see Dark Horse that be actually start putting out like more talent on there. Like, like like if you want to have political books, go ahead, go there, but also put out good books too. I mean, like, you got to appease both sides. If you want to survive.
He only went to Dark Horse because of their
trades,
their job on trades.
Yeah.
Now, who knows? So
he might. I don't know what his contract is with them. He might just write his own stuff like a Brubaker and just put it out himself. He could do that too.
Well, that's what he does.
Yeah.
Brubaker doesn't do it himself. He goes through Image just like Millar did. Now Dark Horse.
So I don't know, but
he's not self-published. That might be an option, but
he has the money. He can do it probably. Yeah. Imagine if he teamed up with Rebellion. Well, Rebellion's they're published through Lunar right now, but about that. But no, the reason I said I like Millar because he actually pays people what they're worth, And
he doesn't pay his writers, for shit.
Doesn't he write most of his stuff himself?
That's the joke.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Now, Dark Horse has Ghostbusters rights apparently for Afterlife stuff. Why don't they? I said, you have a Sony property. You have a Ghostbusters. The IDW was really good with Eric Burnham. But it's just that they were at a failing company, and then they eventually canceled the book. I think it was around 2019. It's right when they pulled the rug onto them, and Sony said no more. I would love to see like them actually put another ongoing Ghostbusters series out, but I don't think we'll probably get another one. We got these two horrible miniseries that just were completely left-leaned and not really entertaining. The art was horrendous. And like if you want to write a shit story, at least have good art, But you don't even have good art and you're going to tell me an even shittier story, like that's a waste of money. I don't know what Dark Horse is going to do as far as I haven't paid attention to what the staff is. I thought there were some layoffs, wasn't there? Maybe.
I don't know.
I know that the main guy got fired. The main president, CEO, whatever, got fired. And maybe because he was putting out books that nobody was buying. Nobody was buying the Ghostbuster books because they weren't. Well, I picked them up because it's Ghostbusters. But I imagine a lot of people are not picking it up because, they take one peek inside and they look at the art. And it's like, whoa.
I mean, Ghostbusters was a Dark Horse?
Yeah, it was a Dark Horse last year. Those two little miniseries, you saw them? The one with one kid, he has a non-binary. He's like, my dad hates me because I'm non-binary. It's like, bro, we're here to bust ghosts, not talk about you busting balls. They don't give a shit about that.
They can't help themselves.
Yeah. It's a kid's book, too. It's like, is it to do with kids?
Gotta learn them early.
No. But I don't know. I said, we need to have a fair and balancing thing, Not that, I don't want to, like, I could be mean to, like, oh, yeah, let's get rid of all the nonsense, and stuff, and just put out everything that's right-leaning, We could do that, but they'll never do it, though, because so many people are afraid of political backlash and all that stuff, which is shocking because the fact that right now I don't think there would be any. But majority of people voted for the president. Whether you like him or not, people voted for him, and he's doing what he promised.
Yeah, but the overwhelming majority.
Yeah. So you can't use that, No, but my thing is like, for most part, keep the politics out of the book. You know, I don't want to read about anyone teenagers like and their sexuality and all that stuff. If it's in a kid's book, Ghostbusters was supposed to be aimed towards kids. I don't want to learn about.
I said, sorry, leftists, but
it's gross.
95+% of kids are still straight, and still, boys plan on remaining boys, and girls plan on remaining girls. Let me finish this.
Go ahead.
I said, so quit. Okay, comics is a niche industry already. Trying to capture a niche of a niche isn't enough to sustain an audience. When you're pandering to, if 3% are gay and trans, it might be a little bit more now because a lot of people think they are. What percentage of that 3% read comics? 0.3% of them? So do the math. Even if every one of them bought your book, you're still not selling. So, like I said, it's, comic books, like I said, especially mainstream ones, should take the CBS approach. It may not be, the shows may not be deep as, say, like The Americans or Slow Horses, but they've got to get 10 million people watching that show to be a success. Comics need to reach wallets, and pandering to, especially a group that doesn't support things financially anyway.
And I want to point out, I'm not anti-Marvel, anti-DC. I'm anti the people that are in charge right now, that don't give a shit about anything but pushing an agenda. And CC Zabliskie won't even admit, or was it Quesada, whoever the fucker that decided to break up the marriage of Mary Jane, 20 years later, still will not deny that he screwed up Spider-Man.
Did you hear what he said about that?
No.
He goes, Spider-Man, the character suffered irreparable damage. We've only had 3 more movies, 2, all these video games, and you rattled off all the things. Nothing, no comics, mind you. All the live action and animated properties.
And
he goes, just think how much more it would have been if it wasn't for one more day. And unfortunately, like I said, Aaron eviscerated him over that. But I said, congratulations, Joe. The only thing that was affected by that, or the only thing that hasn't improved, is the one thing you were responsible for, and that's the comics. The comics have. I've heard speculation that they might be selling under 50,000 copies a month for Amazing Spider-Man. That's unheard of. So one more day did affect the comics, if not live act. Because the people that go to the Spider-Man movies, they don't read Spider-Man comics. Never did, never will.
Here's the reason, though. The reason they're enjoying these, because it's not Peter Parker, away from Mary Jane. The video games, he's with Mary Jane. In the movies, he's with Mary Jane.
Or a reasonable facsimile of.
Yeah. Like I
said, Quesada. Like I said, it's this inability to just admit you were wrong, take the L, and fix it, but that they'll never do that.
Nope. But like I said, books I like are stuff like this, like Dork. There's no politics in this whatsoever. It's just straight up, guy wants to be left alone, and the whole world's insane and wants to murder him, and he's trying not to kill anybody because he doesn't want to hurt anybody. He's a nice guy, and just he meets people along the way, and he's constantly being irritated because he's got back talk from his stupid shield, and then he's got the chicken who's causing him problems and constantly asking questions, So. Like I said, it's like I like it when you get scared for this now. And I was looking at reviews on Look Comic Geeks for this. People are saying like, I don't get how this is such a $80 book, bro. It's like the book is horrible humor. It's so generic. I've read it before, and you probably read it though. If people are saying, oh, you've seen this humor before, those are probably in good selling books. You just don't like it, and so like, I give it $2, bro. I'm like, go ahead. Here's your. That's great, but like, I don't like I said I don't leave comments on Ugly Comic Geeks because one, I don't care enough to sit there and go through for 10 minutes and type out a paragraph. And then two, I don't want to deal with people replying back to me too and all that stuff, because it's not, I don't want to waste my time on that site. I go there because I can, it's free. It's a free account. I can put my books on there, my pull list. Let's see what's coming out. I can see what's coming next week and stuff. I can add my pull list and that's it. I can look at preview covers. I will never pay for premium and any comic book apps, whatever, if I have to, and if LeakConk goes away, all right, then I guess I'll just play it blind and showing, hey, what shows up at the shop, kind of like what people used to do back in the day, I don't think they're giving you printouts. I know for video games, they did a GameStop. What's coming out this year? They have a list that says the date comes out, for each company. I don't think they did that for comic books. So if we go away from websites to tell you what's coming out each week, my God, that would be chaos. But I would love it though. But Echo Chamber, that's what it is. That's legally comic is. It's literally, it's no, you cannot deny it. That it is very left leaning. And hey, everyone's a right to their opinion. Doesn't mean I have to engage with them and talk to them. That's your choice. But I'm not considering shit on Elite Comic Geeks and all. It's I don't want to do anymore. ARD, what's the mother? Who's the mother? Dwarf and the father, an orc and dwarf. Speaking of orcs. No. He's not an orc. And actually, no, you wouldn't be an orc because your father didn't leave you.
And I could go out during the daytime.
Yeah. Is it different? The guy actually a prince under a spell, returning no back and no course, no damsel kiss him? No. Summer. All it is pretty much we don't know what his parents are. It's the second issue. They have not told us. All they know is that the land fairy, the little magical land of Orc, or it's space wherever they're at. It's split into light and dark, and they're constantly fighting because it's the cliche trope in every video game. You have the light and the dark don't like each other. And he was born of two from a dwarf and a dwarf and an orc, and because he's abomination, they think that they spread all their high church religious figures spread that he's gonna end the world. And he's like, I just want to enjoy my life, eat some soup, and have some good meat and just relax. But everyone wants to kill him now. And then he has this for 20 years he's been, as I said in the beginning in the first issue, he's been hiding out, minding his business, and everyone pretty much is trying to kill him. And now he's pretty much the point where he's snapping and he's gonna defend himself. But yeah, I don't know. They don't tell you who the parents are. But like I said, it's quirky humor, it's fun, and it's kind of like Oddworld, Abe's Exodus, or any of those early Xbox 360 games. You get the fantasy stuff like Fable or Bard's Tale, Baldur's Gate, Bar 3, I think it was. It's just slapstick humor, and that's why I like it. And that's why I like a lot of that stuff, like the Ninja Turtles, TMNT Adventures. Same with Teen Titans Go. Those have just been lighthearted. There's no stakes at all. They're standalone issues. But I'm enjoying the Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter actors talking smack about each other. Now that's clever, because those are two franchises. MK, real quickly, I don't get the Geoff. MK, have they ever done a Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat in the video games? Because I know it's Capcom, and I don't know if Mortal Kombat's Capcom. I think they're something else. But that would be cool to have them in an arcade game. You could choose be Bison versus Shao Kahn. Absolute Crisis would be cool. But anyway, Geoff, how many books you got this week?
Well, I have two new ones because, surprise, surprise, we didn't get our stuff in this week again. I just
what?
Yeah. That's odd, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I got my my thing this week.
Yeah, it's horrible. We don't get our stuff a lot, but I do have some other things to show. I just got a package in today, so
my surprise was I got sick.
Oh boy!
I know. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
That's what you get for hanging out with me.
I wasn't hanging out with you. I should really think my brother got me because now the weather did change, but I'm not running in and out of the cold like I used to.
Gee, not like it's you're a parts delivery driver or it's -8 when you get to work and then it gets.
Well, I don't live in Anchorage, Alaska, or wherever you are up there, where your next door neighbor is a penguin and then down the street you got a guy in an igloo.
He has this lounge that he has a lot of these weird people coming in and out of.
The Iceberg Lounge. That's cool.
Yes. So I got Alias #1, which I was kind of curious about.
New writer. It's not the creator of it. I think was the creator originally. Was it Brian Michael Bendis?
I don't know, but
it's some girl I saw was reading it, writing it.
Yeah, let me.
So it could. It's not Alyssa Wong, so you have a chance. It could be good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Oh, okay. You already did read it then.
Yeah, it's the one that I did read.
Okay, cool.
Explicit content, and the first line in there is, "This is such," and they actually use the word.
Nice.
It doesn't. What is it? Come on. For some reason, there doesn't seem to have the. Oh, writer Sam Humphries.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a girl.
Artist Geraldo Borges. So I guess Iron Fist, Power Man is.
Ooh, you just folded that book.
No, I didn't. Power Man is the mayor now.
Yeah, he's made it for a while, and that's the one thing I remember from the past 6 years is that he became mayor after Fist left.
And I guess she got her private investigative license yanked because of something, and that's causing issues between them. And she goes back to her office to get some things, and someone slides something underneath her door, and she's checking the people across the hall because I guess they're supposed to be people she knew who's getting mail for her. And some paparazzi takes a picture of her because she's like, oh, she's doing, the mayor's wife is doing this. And she's being an utter kind of see you next Tuesday to him.
Yeah.
And the people in there are murdered. She finds out that they've been murdered. And she is arguing with
Detective
Power Man about whether she can investigate or not because she has her thing and the cops are on it. And I did not know that Typhoid Mary and the Kingpin are
married
now.
Yeah,
but she comes up to her and says, "Hey, I can help you investigate this." And
that happened in Chip Zdarsky's run of Daredevil. Yeah. They were very beginning. Yeah, they got married and stuff. And is there a scene in there though where she's drinking at a bar?
Yes.
Because I'm curious, because I know the show came after the comic book. I never read the original series. I've heard some people liked it. The original series, the original Alien stuff was really good. And I never knew if the Netflix series was anything like the actual comic book, or because you know what they do whenever they have something a live action, they change the comic book to be just like the live action. So I was wondering how many drinking scenes she has in there because she was constantly drunk in that first season.
That's where they met. That's where Typhoid Mary and her met. Met up because she's in there and talking.
Well, that's where you should get the clap at the bar when you're drunk.
Yeah, and she's not a very pleasant person in this book.
I like her on the show, But
I don't know. Maybe it's just she. But then,
but Sam Humphries, I believe that's the guy who was the writer for the Tim Burton Batman movie, Batman Returns, or one of the ones.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I got Exorcism at Buckingham Palace. I haven't read that one yet.
Exorcism at Stonehenge. Exorcism at this. You're gonna have the spinoffs.
May or may not read it. I don't know. I'm still waiting for things to show up. I am going to open these, and then I have something else I want to show you with a really great story behind it. But I will do that one here in a second.
I don't care how great the story is. Don't show me your penis.
Oh, darn it! That's what I was planning on doing.
I don't have my glasses on.
No, you're not going to need You're not going to need that. Okay.
And we just lost 12 people.
This is an eBay. Darn it! Come on. I want to be careful.
eBay purchase. Yeah.
Yes.
Remember to cut away from yourself, not towards you.
Yes. But I'm trying to do it without actually doing the stuff to the books as well.
That's you know. That's why I usually use the scissors.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, you got some more Batman. You were just getting Batman back issues left and right.
Yep. And this was a pick your issues. They had a whole bunch of them, but a lot of them were sold out.
I feel like you're gonna have a whole room to just be this Batman books.
Yes. And who knew that I have a thing for Batman?
I did not know. I thought you just liked that shirt, got it from Goodwill because it's cheap. I had no idea. I mean, I got a Coors Light one. I also got a Soapy from Goodwill because it was like $1. I mean, I do like Coors, but
okay. So I have number 336.
Nice. Is that Batman wearing a crown?
No, only I know the answer to this question, and it'll cost Gotham City $1 billion to find out. So that is not him.
Oh, the Riddler, maybe? That's weird. He has a purple.
So I don't know about that. Then I have 338. Tim going up again. Nice. So that's probably where they got that thing from Batman and Robin with the hockey.
Yeah. Yeah. The villains with the
344.
They actually might have been the first appearance of Casey Jones versus Batman. The issue.
I wonder if he was high on cocaine.
They all are. It's Gotham City, man.
Well, there's also that song. 350.
Nightmare in Crimson. Ooh, vampire book.
And then last one. Watch that first step, Batman. It's a killer. 352.
Nice.
Now, Monday, which is one of my days off, I went to go get rid of some movies so I could try and make some room, put my Omnis up and all that stuff. I went to Tidal Wave, and I was just, I'm going to go check. I was waiting for how much credit I was going to get. And I went back, and I found 2 omnibus back there, $1.25 cover price.
Yep.
And they were $59.95. No sales tax up here, so that would have been $60 each, $120 if I wanted to get the 2 of them. And they're only 2. They were book 1 and book 2, which is a good deal. $120 for $225. It would be what, $250?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll just get the first one. Then I realized I had like $34 in credit. So I went back and got the second one. $85 for Preacher.
Nice.
Volume 1.
And 2.
And number 2.
Nice.
It was, where is the receipt right here? It is $85.40 for $250. And if you look right there, there's this tiny little bit of damage.
Yeah.
On that corner right there. And I think we have the same one on number 1. But other than that, I mean, that's about a quarter of the price.
Wow.
That's a fantastic deal. And I don't think I've actually read the whole series. Or much of it, by the way.
You gotta be careful when you get rid of some of your movies or Blu-rays if you have them, because sometimes those are actually worth money.
Some of them were actually DVDs, but
I know. I mean, like, well, even then, like I said, there's sometimes there's because these movies are out of print, and it might be a certain collector's case. Those are actually worth more money than normal.
Yeah.
So I'd always check your eBay prices and see what they're going for before you take them to like a retail place. Because I was shocked to like look at some of these are rare, especially the combos. They have the 2 movies. Sometimes those are worth more.
Yeah, and it's weird though because people were just getting rid of all their physical media, saying, "Oh, we can just get them on streaming," and the streaming is such a good thing. And then you realize that streaming they'll just stop playing stuff like that, and then nobody plays it. And you can't get you watch your movie anymore. And then if they want to get that movie back,
you gotta pay like $200.
Yeah, and so
because they're not printing anymore.
If there's ones that I like and stuff like that, I'll just keep. I'm not getting rid of it.
So, any more of those show?
Nope.
All right.
I meant to try and take that out a little bit longer, but I guess it didn't.
That's all right. It's your average rate time. A few minutes. All right, though, but I have nothing else to show off. I did all stuff. It's been sick all day. Took NyQuil twice, and slept for pretty much from like 7 to about 4. Actually, no, take it back. 7 to 6 o'clock. So I got up for about 15 minutes, took some medicine, and went right back to bed. So I figure if I sleep it off, I'll get better, right? But right now, it's just I have stuffed nose. Nothing else. I'm not coughing. I'm not completely drained. I know the flu's going on right now. I don't want the flu. But I'm probably looking at getting rid of most of my books. But I got stacks and stacks of books upstairs that I'm probably gonna get rid of.
Novel books or comic books?
Comic books. Mainly because I know I do. They're just I'm never gonna touch them again. There might be a few I might keep, like there's a Spider-Man one of my favorite ones. I think it's the issue number 31. I think I have the Marvel Tales version of it, reprint.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff that I just bought.
I'm keeping the Catwoman from the 90s, the Chuck Dixon, Mary Jo Duffy.
Oh yeah,
keeping those. Keep that run. I'll keep my Whisper. For the most part, I got a bunch of Xenoscope books up there. I got some Robin Hoods. I got a lot of Bell. I got a lot of just Vampirellas up there too now. I've been collecting.
Grimm's Tales.
Yeah. Those I got a lot of those. I don't expect to get cover price for those or even anything more. They are. But I'm looking at 10 years from now. If I'm gonna have so many books. I don't want to.
I've got a shit ton that I just want to get rid of. It's like, what was I getting these for?
I got rid of. I originally started off with only 2 long boxes, and then I left the hobby for like 4 or 5 years. So now I was like, cool. So then I went and I started 2019, started collecting again because I discovered East Channel. So I blame him for everything.
That's always sensible,
right? And I started collecting again, and now it's like down 2026, and I'm back to having way more than I used to have. I think I have over 3,000, close to 4,000 books.
Well, I've got.
And it's modern. And a lot of it's modern.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my reason for getting rid of them is, first and foremost, financial. But also, you said, where are you going to be 10 years from now?
Yeah.
Still 13 years younger than I am now. I don't want a hobby that involves stacking and unstacking boxes, mainly because I mean, if I still had my original collection, that would probably be different because I had everything.
Here's the other thing. I told Marani about this. Is like, and people I'll get so many people are gonna hate me for this because I said there's a lot of books I've read them. If I ever want to read them again, I'll go online because I'll just read it right there. I read most of my books digital anyway.
Yeah, it's easy. I've got all those trades.
Yeah.
I am kind of bummed though that my favorite year of Marvel team up is only available in a Masterworks and it's out of print and goes for hundreds of dollars, which is way more than the comics themselves would cost. Yeah. But I don't want to get like, I'll just get these comics because I know how that works. Then it becomes I'll get those.
But remember, we're told to hang on to physical media because it's not always going to be there in digital format. But right now there is, like I said, it's in digital format. It's the original stuff. It's scanlation stuff, but now it's not none of the new stuff where they basically edit it and censor stuff. So I mean, is there? And if it's not there, it means I've said I quit the hobby before because I just kind of lost interest. I'll still do these. I still books I'm interested. I'll get those, but I'm gonna be clearing out about 3/4 of my collection. Just so I have room, because I'm turning into a hoarder. If you can't really tell, behind me,
you have to figure out the difference between
boxes here, boxes here,
and being a hoarder.
I'm becoming a hoarder because I buy books and then I read them and then I just store them away. I don't bring them back out anymore. So I'm gonna be probably getting rid of majority of my books, and it's gonna be weird because you're looking behind me like, where's all your boxes? I gave up my TV so I could have boxes in my room. But then again, I watch TV online too. So, but yeah, I'm probably gonna get rid of most of my books, for whatever cover price. I know you're actually you do because you actually need the money and stuff. I just because I need the room. And if I ever have to move, I don't want to bring all these boxes.
See, that's my thing. I've got like over 10 or 12 long boxes, a couple of these things, the plastic one short boxes, and then the stuff on my desk that most of that stuff I'm not even gonna read anymore. So I'm gonna get rid of that stuff. And I've got 6,800 according to my thing here. I need to get rid of a lot of them. Because I'll have these things that I just bought. I was like, this looks good. I just want to try and get them downstairs and maybe do one of a comic sale or something like that. But
yeah,
I have to go up a flight and a half of stairs, getting all those things down the stairs when and if I move.
Yeah.
It's gonna suck.
Yeah, I mean now, over here. Undead Quinn, also known as Hero Angel, give time to crack on comic scans, look at the manga scans. Now, here's the thing about manga scans. Right now, Crunchyroll's got a lawsuit going against them because they're losing business and they've been doing some dirty stuff behind the scenes and sharing people's privacy stuff. You can legally pay for it if you want to. The problem is, majority of people that go to manga scans is because the fact that they're when you have places where you can only go to one place, and that's Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is basically censoring stuff. They're deliberately editing and changing the translations, and a lot of people are getting fed up with that. And then plus, there's certain books they will not put on there because they're too adults.
Yeah.
So a lot of people go to alternative sites. Now, here's the thing: we tried this with Pirate Bay many years ago. They took down the rest of the guys. 9 more popped up. It's still going today. So there will always be ways, unless they decide to put government ID or even sign on the internet and computer, you have to show your ID.
And how easy is that to do? Just I can.
But here's the thing though. It's like a lot of people think that if they use a VPN and they'll hide your identity. Don't realize that that the government can easily most VPN providers will actually comply with the government and will hand over your information if the government asks for it. So you're not really hiding your location. The only way you're hiding a location is if you're a hacker and you're bouncing your signal from foreign place and you're limited time you're on the internet.
Yeah.
But the best way, if for those who are afraid about getting your internet information, all your stuff, getting leaked online, stay offline. Never go online.
And this is also going back to the movies thing.
Yeah.
We were talking about them censoring stuff. Like if you watch
that too, yeah, physical media is getting censored as well. Yeah.
If you watch something on, like I was watching something on, I think it was the Karate Kid 3.
Yeah.
On TV, and there's a scene where Kreese has Pat Morita or something like that, and he referred to a Pat Morita. He used the NIP word for an Asian, and they bleeped it.
Of course.
And it's like, dude, man, just because people just that bugs me.
I wouldn't be surprised. Do you think they haven't censored the movie Roots yet?
Oh, dude, they couldn't show that movie.
Anyone who mentions the word Negro, and that's a legitimate term, so whether you feel about that, if it's bad or good, they censor that because they're afraid that someone may boycott them because they said the word. And I didn't say the other word, even though it's said throughout the world and all rap songs by people of the same color. And yeah, it's I think it's just dumb and all censorship. So don't censor anything.
Speaking of that, there's a joke meme, and it's not that far fetched at this point.
Hey, Dana,
for Blazing Saddles, right?
Oh yeah, where the white woman at? I love that stuff. And there's another one. Yeah,
it says tonight, Blazing Saddles will be shown from 0700 to 0705.
You know what they should do?
Everything.
They should show the movies and full uncut, unedited. Just put a brief disclaimer says, the following movie is not advisable for all audiences or sensible. You're sensitive, like they used to do.
The thing that gets me is that movie. If you you need to buy. Here's $5. Get yourself a freaking sense of humor.
So,
and 2, if you understood what they're saying in the movie, it's a parody. They're making fun of racism and all that stuff. And
sure.
Subtlety is not
everything you're describing though is the unending battle, a decision yourself. Do you want to have tons of physical media and and have nowhere to walk because you have so much media, physical stuff, books and DVDs and all that stuff, video game stuff, and or do you want to have streaming and have censorship? It sucks either way you look at it. There will always be ways around to get around censorship, but it's like I said, it's going to be until the world changes and for the better, we'll find out. But yeah, as far as the whole online age thing, I know Europe was pushing that. Discord just got caught. They were leaking people's information. October, they had a huge hack where everybody's IDs and all state IDs they had in there was stolen. Government stuff was taken out of there and leaked and stuff. And so, yeah, and I know Discord right now, it's like a lot of corporations may not really not want to have your private information stuff there, but they're being forced to, so they're complying. They're trying to comply with the law, so they don't get.
There's also companies make money. Like say you subscribe to a certain place, they will sell your information to places, and that's
there will always be people. Or get your information, like what's about as far as Discord, like if they want to do like have a kid site like YouTube does. YouTube has a YouTube kid site, if I'm on YouTube and a normal thing, I should not have to worry about I can't say this because someone might be listening. My streams are set to 18 or older,
That's
so if people say the F word in my chat, they say penis, they say all the weird adult stuff, and so here's the thing: if a 13-year-old kid is, using his dad's state ID to log on, what's the point then? It's whatever. It's dumb. It's all about policing, all about your private information, all controlling what you stuff, so they can go after you and arrest you. And there's no way around that. You
don't want to know what it's going to look like in 5 years.
Okay. What's worse, 5 years from now, or living with Rosie O'Donnell and Ellen DeGeneres as roommates?
No, I said 5 years from now, the government will control X. They won't have to control Blue Sky. They're already doing their work for them.
Supposedly, do you hear about Blue Sky? Majority of people left.
But either way, Yeah, Elon Musk will probably be in prison, and X will be under government control, and we will very much resemble China.
So that's the worst scenario,
Yeah, and we're headed towards it.
Yeah.
Starting in November.
Jackson comes in and asks what's weather.
When the left gets control again, it's just going to be one long. Everybody wanted this to be a revenge tour for Trump, but he's not that kind of person. But the Democrats are, and we're going to see it starting in November.
Yeah. But, like I said, we'll see what happens. I don't want to dwell in the future because if you're constantly dwelling in the future, you ignore the present, and you're always in a really bad mood. So I'm not saying put your head down in the sand and ignore everything that's going on. Keep an eye.
That's why we're going to be like that in 5 years, because our heads are in the sand.
Yeah.
Thinking they're thinking it can't come to that. Do you think England ever thought they'd end up where they are right now?
Well, England's always been socialist, though. That's the thing.
Not socialist, yes, but not
World War II?
Not Muslim.
Yeah. So after so the country that fought in the Crusades to eradicate the Muslim threats and all the jihad stuff, to eradicate that, because you had and a lot of people are not going to like this when I say, you had Muslim nations that were going into Christian nations and trying to kill them because they don't like the fact that they're Christian. And also, so England and I think it was France and Germany kind of got together and pretty much went after them during the Crusades, and they pushed them back. But now all of that's undone immediately within a few years.
They all have a bunch of Muslims in the letting them in, and also England right now, their navy is so depleted. They did a report that says they can't function. Their navy can't function right now. It can't sustain itself or win a battle.
Do you know what I'm going to start doing? I'm gonna just get 1 million followers by just talking and blaming people on conspiracy theories. It's all connected. I'll do what Candace Owens doing. Just blame everyone, and then narrow it. And then when people call me on my lies, I'll deflect.
She blames the Jews.
Yeah. Well, now she's blaming Erica Kirk.
Well, that's because
she's the mastermind behind this.
No, Candace Owens is batshit crazy. Tucker Carlson's batshit crazy. Megyn Kelly's bought and paid for.
Tucker Carlson's also being paid for by Qatar. He's got Qatar money.
Yeah.
Carlson's damn near an enemy of the state at this point.
Well, he's never been a conservative. That's the thing. He started out as a Democrat, and he's still a Democrat.
So did Candace. So did Candace Owens.
Yep.
So. She was a game. She did something with a bunch of gamers.
Tucker didn't start as a Democrat. He was the token conservative on CNN. Remember when he went up against Jon Stewart and got schooled? He worked hard to be what he is today, but I don't know maybe he did sell out to the highest bidder, but like I said, he's fucking anti-American now. I know that.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because a couple years ago I really liked what he had to say, but then again, I liked Megyn Kelly up until a couple months ago.
Here's the thing, I like, not strong but I can tolerate Bill Maher. Bill Maher has different opinions. We agree on some things and all, but
I'm a Bill Maher fan.
Yeah.
I trust him more than I trust anybody else we've been talking about.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
At least what he says. He's has enough common sense to sit there and say, I believe in this, and you guys are. You know who really surprises me? The guy from Pennsylvania.
The Fetterman or Fetterman.
Fetterman.
I was so opposed to that guy, and actually, I don't agree with everything he says, but the guy makes sense, and he's like, no, you guys are idiots, and I wouldn't vote for the man, but I'm really surprised that.
Well, I can't remember the guy's name, but Trump and his cronies sabotaged the Republican nominee to get Oz Mehmet on the ticket, and Fetterman beat him just like I predicted. And I'm glad he did, because, like I said, it's nice to have a voice of reason on the other side.
Yep.
But I said that was one where Trump screwed that one up, because this guy was young, energetic, and had it going on. And like I said, in the Trump swamp, took him out, and then got a guy that lost to a vegetable, because that's what Fetterman was at the time.
Yeah, he had a stroke. Yep, yeah.
And
he's not like AOC.
Uh-oh.
And
did you know the new rules of the internet? You do not say things about AOC.
And her angel is right about that one. I can tell you that much right now. I thought that might have been my thing of doing that, but I guess it turns out that it was. AOC, that woman is just flat out stupid.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're trying to silence me.
Yeah, that's just what we were saying. You don't say, look, you don't say anything about AOC. Look what happens.
Yep. Yeah, StreamYard rebooted for me, randomly kicked me out. That was weird. No. So
I think about the most reasonable one of the YouTubers at this point is probably Dave Rubin.
I don't know him.
He's the gay ex-Democrat that
anti-Israel
got pushed out of the party by how radical they'd gotten, and kind of about the same time they when they were purging anybody that with any independent thought, like Rogan and Musk, and Rubin, and Rubin's very level-headed. I mean, I like him a lot.
There's an English guy who is very conservative. He's
Douglas Murray.
Yes, I love that man. I mean, in a purely platonic type of way. I saw him up against this gay activist, and he schooled that little bitch like you wouldn't fucking believe. He was vicious. He eviscerated him, and the kid just couldn't even talk.
Okay.
And conversely, there's that one little fucking Harry something, something like that.
Yeah.
Who?
I'll tell you somebody that you'd want that it's worth checking out is Rigo Starr. He's flamboyantly gay and uber conservative, and he's entertaining as hell.
Who's that little black guy with the bleach blonde hair who's kind of like gay as fuck?
That's Rigo Starr.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's Sonny Kiss. Oh, they're talking about wrestling. Yeah.
He's
Let's walk with me.
So right now it's just funny too. You can see is that they're doing the pushing for the voter ID thing law, and I'm thinking like this: who the heck is afraid of against voter ID? And if you say that, well, Black Americans won't be or disfranchised, they won't be able to they'll get ID inside. I'm like, that's racist right there.
See, women.
That's
blacks and Hispanics are too stupid to be able to read and
only Americans
and get IDs. That's
only Americans should be voting in American politics and stuff. I'm sorry.
He had a post the other day. Some gay was saying how Trump was going to take everybody's rights and blah blah. And Rigo Starr said, "I'm gay as fucking free as a bird. You almost need a hobby."
Did you see that there was a school shooting again or something?
Two
of them.
Yeah,
and I guess the security. I don't know which one it was, but apparently security is the one that dismantled and took.
Okay, the one in Michigan at the
Temple.
Yeah, the Israel
Temple. Yeah,
the security stopped him. They killed the guy that drove his car into it.
Yeah,
before he could kill anybody. The one at Old Dominion killed one. He shot three, killed one. And people in the classroom, one of the guys stabbed him to death.
Fucking ROTC. Bunch of ROTC people.
ROTC guys, yeah. So that's But and both of them were Muslim, of course.
Yeah.
So
and now people are thinking this is a sleeper cells.
Well, yeah. Well, and of course, it'll be Trump's fault because if he had started the hornet's nest, well, I know that they've been threatening to have nuclear weapons for years. But eventually that threat's going to become reality. Now it's not going to.
Well, with Bush Jr. He said, "Oh yeah, Iraq's got weapons of mass destruction." We don't know if they did or not. When we learned about Bush Jr.
No, we were paying for Iran to enrich uranium. So
yeah. But I'll just say this as far as the whole thing right now. My gas prices did go up. I'm at $3.19. I was at $2.40 last week.
The scary thing is, and this is what, like I said, Republicans can kiss the midterms goodbye.
Oh yeah, they know that.
Because diesel's up to $4.50, which means grocery prices are going to go up a lot. Again, they're already, unaffordable now.
But as for being told by Trump, though, that the whole we're getting all that Venezuelan oil coming their way.
That's not going to matter. It's not going to be in time to bring the grocery prices down by the midterm. So people vote with their wallets. They're going to vote the Democrats back in control of Congress, and we're going to spend the next 2 years, impeaching Trump and getting nothing done. And the only hope is that somehow people have the good sense not to elect Newsom in 28.
Well, this is what they did to Reagan, too. It's the same shit. No,
that was an entirely different world then.
But I still say it's the same rhinos Republicans that were back then or is it today. Heck, some of them probably young back then. Probably the same people that are still in Congress. Look how long Nancy Warren was in the frickin' there forever.
Who?
Nancy Warren is Nancy Pelosi. Sorry,
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Warren are the same person to me at this point.
Elizabeth Warren.
Elizabeth Warren and Nancy Warren do the fusion dance from Dragon Ball Z, and then they fuse together. They're one superpower. But I don't know. Time of year is spring break, so that could be why gas prices are going up too. True, kids are going on the college trips.
Yeah, but it never went up $1.
But also, I wouldn't be surprised if the reason the gas price is up has nothing to do with Trump is the fact that they have gas stations who are greedy and want to raise the price.
No, it's when the attacks on Iran started, the price of oil, a barrel of oil went up a ton, and you don't wait for the effect. You raise the prices immediately because sometimes they come down just as fast as they go up. The gas prices will come back down.
Yeah, they will.
But the grocery prices probably won't. And although right now, gas is expensive enough to have to be factored into people's budgets. And for a while, it didn't feel like that. But when you're talking $3.50 a gallon, you have to think about, okay, what can I cut? Even if it's something small. But then you think about, I said, 6 weeks ago, there was a special on Pringles, $1.50 a can. They're $2.60 now for a little can of Pringles. That's unsustainable.
This little can, it's a pretty big can.
$2.50 or $2.60. Not the giant ones, the regular ones.
You tried this yet?
No, I don't like barbecue. I mean, I like barbecue.
I would not eat smoky barbecue, whatever, and the steak, whatever, but on the Pringle.
I've never liked barbecue chips, I should say. I mean, no matter what.
The normal barbecue chips they have are pretty good.
I just don't like them. It's like, I don't like the salt and vinegar ones that Zach raves about.
the dill.
I like sour cream and onion, cheddar, stuff like that, but
yeah. Can't we just get the gas from Venezuela? Well, I mean, we are still getting. We're not getting gas from Iran though. We're not fuel, but I don't know. I have Philly Shakes cheese frick Pringles. Yeah, when they came out a couple years ago,
and they never made it to Kentucky. It's like Mark Twain said. If you ever found out the world was coming to an end, he'd move to Cincinnati to get 10 more years.
Yeah, the cheesesteak Pringles were not that great.
Why am I watching? What a miserable fucking day of sports this has turned into.
It's funny you say that. Like every other day when we're on the stream together, it's always either it's good or it's bad.
Yeah, there's not a lot in between. Yeah, because there's only two outcomes of a game, dumbass: win or lose.
Well, I'm just saying you're kind of grumpy. It's almost like you're just.
I'm fake grumpy.
Fake grumpy.
Now I was real grumpy for a minute because Duke came this close to losing tonight, and that's always a good day. But Carolina just they've thrown in the towel. I was watching the Reds preseason, and I know it's preseason, but my God, they're starting. If the top of the order that the Reds were facing were Venkman, me, and Geeky. I don't think they can get a 1-2-3 inning. They're that bad this year so far.
Pizza Pringles? I'm sorry. I'm distracted by the Pringle talk in the chat. Pizza Pringles. Pizza combos are not that great.
You're easier to distract than Homer Simpson with a donut.
Well, when you start talking sports, I kind of.
You brought it up. I did. In sports are what Jackson is with the weather.
No. Him in sports is like Jackson yelling at the clouds. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I can agree with that. Eric gives the tartar sauce to the channel. Fun fact: that was a real name of Grumpy Cat. Tartar sauce was Grumpy Cat. Oh, wow, did not know that.
Yeah, excuse me that I like things that where the outcomes are predetermined.
Like sure about that?
Tonight I'm not.
Man, I feel like every ESPN highlight should be like they should just have a counter of how many times Kobe flops. Not Kobe, sorry, LeBron James flops.
Well, Kobe's last flop was his best.
That's bad, bro. That's not a good joke.
Really, Geoff?
Wow.
I thought it was funny.
Kind of was. Yes.
I'm sure it wasn't a flop. It was more like just a straight crash. I don't think anyone.
Yeah. Just think if LeBron James had been like 8 inches shorter, all that flopping could have been done on a soccer field.
Yep. Yeah. But somebody uploaded on Twitter or not X, whatever you guys would call it. They had a video of Shaq, and they're showing the clips of him and LeBron. Yeah. LeBron gets angry, doesn't like anybody touching him or you're going near him. Shaq goes out of the way and to be friendly with the fans. Two different types of people. One self-absorbed, thinks he's the best person in the league, and everyone should bow down to him. The other one is just happy to be there and have fun.
Well, it's different personality types.
Yeah.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Well, okay, here's one. Going back, 60, 70 years. Will Chamberlain was thought of as this big, bully, bad guy, and everybody loved Bill Russell. The perception of them. Bill Russell was a prick that would never sign autographs for kids. Will Chamberlain, in between banging 10,000 chicks, signed thousands of autographs for little kids. Little kid came up to him as he was getting ready to get ready for a game, asked for his autograph. He goes, "I don't have time right now. See me after the game." And he came back and signed the kid's autograph after the game. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was an insular prick and very militant. Do you remember? You've seen the movie Airplane, right?
Yes.
A long time ago. He was in there. He was the pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kid comes up to him. Well, after that was done, the kid comes up to him and goes, "Mr. Jabbar, I really am a big fan. Would you sign this, this ball for me?" He just looks down and goes, "Fuck off, kid," and walks away. That was Jabbar.
Yeah.
And it just, I said some people are like that, and
it's unfortunately, yeah. I'm just saying, it's just a clip on there. Unfortunately,
I'm sure, I'm sure Shaq, has his moments. Did you see what he did to his kids?
No, did he prank him?
No, he's his kids aren't in his will. He goes, "You kids aren't rich. I'm rich." That, to me, that's kind of dickish.
Well, it might be temporary thing, but how old they are. Maybe he wants them to build themselves a career. Which he went into basketball because he had talent. He's had heights. I don't know if they have the way to, if they're going to be basketball proteges or whatever.
Well, he credits his success to he was he had a stepfather who was a military man. And he instilled the work ethic into Shaq, and made him who he is today. And that's why he's so respectful of law enforcement.
Yeah, dad was a Marine PI.
Maybe he doesn't want to have nepo babies. He wants them to actually.
But still, like I said, if you, it's one thing.
Change it.
I mean, it's one thing to want your kids to work for it, but it's another to make that public and. Because that's not a good look for him either. It's kind of bullish, but
I don't know. Like I said, maybe he'll later on, if they prove themselves, maybe you can redo your will whenever you want to. He's not this final. You can add him to the will if he wants to.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying.
Most people add people to the wills, but there's stipulations though. That's what I do. I'd have you in the will, but there's stipulations. You want to get the money and stuff, and you have to be prove that you actually are responsible enough, and just I don't I got money from my grandfather. I never expected to get. He gave me like 10 grand. It's not a lot of money. I mean, to them, for me, that's like wow. But I never expected that. I know he was well off. He had money set for the side. Originally, the money was supposed to go to my dad. For the kids, his children, but because my parents and my dad's passed away and all his siblings are gone too, so it went to the grandchildren, us. I was just I was shocked at all. And they said, here's 10 grand. I was like, what? So, but yeah, it was 10 grand, but I didn't get. We all get split up, so I didn't get exactly 10 grand, but it was split up between the 4 kids actually. My 2 sisters, my brother, and me. So I think I got about 2,000 or 3,000 or somewhere around there. But anyway, though, it's like I said, I can understand why he doesn't want. Maybe he wants his kids, to earn their money. Look at how a lot of these kids are. The rich kids become spoiled because they have daddy's money and stuff, and just get in trouble. It's just. I don't know what his kids are like. Maybe these kids are real respectful. Maybe they know.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because he doesn't really talk about them. I don't make my way to go out and look at some celebrities' kids because unless the only ones you hear about celebrities' kids is when they're pushing their kids into their ideology. But back in the chat here, nipple babies can be the worst. Yeah, true. I used to here. Miley has got to be at the top of the nepotism baby.
Who?
Miley Cyrus, I guess.
Well, no,
her dad wasn't really that famous.
She's more successful than her dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and actually, Billy Ray Cyrus was not untalented. The thing that happened to him was when your first big hit is a gimmick song, it's hard to come back from that. He had a couple of really good albums after that, but nobody cared because there wasn't anything achy breaky about it. And I said that I hope he invested wisely from that because that was still when you had to buy music, but he was doomed to never be successful.
You know what achy breaky reminds you of? It reminds me of Toby Keith, put a boot in your ass. It's the American Way. It's a catchy song.
But that was, after he'd had dozens of chart-topping hits.
Yeah.
Achy Breaky Heart was what put Billy Ray Cyrus on the map, and it kept him from ever being successful again.
And then after that, he did the Hannah Montana show with his daughter as the main character.
His music career, it didn't matter how good his music was, nobody cared. And it's like Bobby Van Winkle could have been the most gifted rapper in the world, but after Ice Ice Baby, it was over.
I was watching a video on how Cher rented it for him during the 90s when grunge came in and then pop was kind of being changed a lot. Everything was all boy bands. Remember she came out with a huge single, or Do You Believe in Life After Love?
That started the whole auto-tune thing.
That's how she got back on because otherwise her popularity would pretty much dwindle down. The last thing she was doing was on the 80s though. She was doing that rock song.
Cher was never going to be hurting for success because she's a gay icon and she could perform. I just saw a highlight of her and she's still running, skipping, and jumping on stage at 79.
She's still married to that young kid.
I don't know, but that she's like the female version of Mick Jagger. Her music has sucked for decades, but her early solo stuff and Sonny and Cher I thought were really good.
Oh yeah. Did you get a chance to listen to that song I told you about yesterday? Black Crowes, Profane?
Not yet.
Oh my gosh. It's because it's a new song, came out 2 months ago. And I thought it was an older song because it sounded like 70s punk, kind of punk rock.
Well, maybe that's what they're dabbling in that now.
if that's the case, then
the original, the original sound of the Black Crowes was more like classic rock. It was like a throwback to classic rock.
Their 90s stuff.
And everybody said, "Oh my God, look! These guys are amazing." I go, "No, they're not amazing. It's just you haven't heard that for 10 years."
Yeah, but
I mean, not that they weren't good, but they started doing something that used to be commonplace, but wasn't being done anymore.
And their biggest hit was a cover.
What was their? Yeah.
Hard to Handle.
Oh yeah. There's that one, and then there was an. I remember what else. There's 2 songs I was hearing from them on the radio. They maybe there was that one, Hard to Handle, but I always get them confused with the I think it was Soundgarden, Black Hole Sun, because for a while, like that was Chris Cornell. Dude, back in the 90s, if you asked me, oh yeah, do you listen to the new Savage Garden song? Black Hole Sun? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I was selling music through that whole era.
I want a chicken cherry cola, bro.
Nobody ever said that. Seriously. I'll tell you what happened once. We're at the store and we're playing Under Pressure. And some kid with a straight face said, "Who is that ripping off Vanilla Ice?" Never want to hit somebody so much in my life.
Yeah, the Bodines
come out of the store.
90s had a lot of good contemporary artists there. You got Matchbox 20 popped out of nowhere. The Bodines were pretty good. Trying to think.
You're 1 for 2.
Yeah. Which one do you don't like?
Matchbox 20. There's Matchbox 20. And again, I know Aaron accuses me of being a snob.
No, see,
maybe I am.
Are you a Dave Matthews fan?
Not in the least.
Okay. I don't like Dave Matthews. I thought he was overrated. But
if you ask me why, I'd say because I have a penis. He was definitely one of those that appealed. Any men at a Dave Matthews show was there to please their woman.
I never met a guy like him.
He is a despicable human being. Everywhere from the 90s, he would send spies into record stores to see if they were selling bootleg Dave Matthews so they could bust the stores.
Yeah.
In the last couple of years, he rails about pollution, but unloaded the feces off.
Yeah, I remember that.
He's just a disgusting piece of shit. But like I said, Matchbox 20, there's just for me, there's nothing there.
I like Smooth with him when he did a team up with Carlos Santana, and then Bent was the other one.
Hey,
I
do like man.
I saw the Bodines.
Yeah.
I forgot who they were playing with, but
what is the other bang? Mistress at the Bus Stop. I heard about Nights at the Schoolyard. Forget About You. What is the freaking name of the band? So it start with a G? I can't remember what the name is. I gotta look that up now. Mistress at the Bus Stop. I heard about Nights at the Schoolyard. Forget About You.
Oh, Gin Blossoms.
Gin Blossoms. Thank you. I'm like, I know the band. I just can't remember it. I only like that one record they had.
A New Miserable Experience was a pretty good album. I did like them. They had a little something going for them. But again, like I said, when you have access to everything, you start looking for a little more than what is appealing to the masses.
Well, back in the day,
I said if it was okay. Here's the thing, the Matchbox 20s of the world, they were why I could carry, the Hanson family. if that's a husband and wife out of Chicago, that they sound folk, but if you go inside the lyrics, they're pretty disturbing. But I mean, we would use the sales off of the stuff we sold in bulk to get the stuff that, like, nobody remembers where they got that Matchbox 20. But if you go into a store and actually find this not well-known band that you hope they have, and you do, you remember that. But I
remember I got my Matchbox 20 Sam Goody.
The the cool stuff we would carry.
Yeah.
Hey, how about that Three Dogs Down?
You mean Three Dogs Night?
No.
I don't hear Three Dogs. There's Three Doors Down.
I know. Someone in the chat wrote Three Dogs Down.
Was that MK?
Yeah, I was just like, correcting himself. But.
Yeah. I never. Yeah, the guy. Sad he died. Is it this year?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
My stuff from the '90s was like Korn and Godsmack and stuff like that.
My '90s was I was a teenager, so I listened to what was on the radio and I recorded it off my radio with my cassette player.
And said, Geoff, I'm glad you and I never took any road trips together. Because to me, I'd rather be what's that thing? So Jackass where the guy will let the other guys keep kicking him in the nuts.
Yeah.
I would rather have that than a steady diet.
Oh my gosh. So
getting Godsmack and shit like that.
I saw an interview with Johnny Knoxville and he says he kind of misses doing the Jackass stuff. The guy's like, you missed the pain. He's like, oh, not the pain, but the thrill of it and all that stuff. It was just but he's like, I'm old. I can't do it anymore. But he's like, I miss it though. No, it's weird how he's nostalgic about that. But yeah, if I had to go on a road trip and it's me and Englentine, whatever he prefers to be called now, or I from his England team. He's 15 from England. If I had listened to show tunes he puts it on there, I'm pulling a tune says we're going off that cliff. We're going straight over.
Yeah, our show last night.
You pulled tunes as in we know what the fuck you're talking about.
I did. I laughed.
SNL, bro. The orange cat. Hey, we get a license from.
Yeah, I know. I said the fact that we know what you're talking about says something.
Yes.
Yeah. The thing. The show we had last night was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I saw you guys were doing album art.
Yeah, and then talking about the music itself. I said, because I just contributed one. That the Porter Wagner album, The Cold Hard Facts of Life, and the cover is a guy, walking into this house. This guy carrying his bowling bag, and like another guy is sitting on the couch with his wife with his arm around her. And then I listened to the song. The song's hilarious.
MK's asking about 3 Dog Night. I only know that one song, and that's Dust in the Wind. Or the horse. No. Who did? Was the other one? The Horse No Name? Was that American?
That's America.
3
Dog Night was Joy to the World is what they're best known for.
Okay.
But they did One Is the Loneliest Number. Mama Told Me Not to Come. They had a lot of AM hits in the early 70s.
Wow.
Eli's Coming. Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, my music choices were whatever my parents put on the radio, pretty much. I was exposed to Lola at a young age.
Well,
and when you go to
you could do worse.
Kinks, yeah.
They're fantastic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Destroyer. I love that. And I heard the Van Halen cover first before I heard the original.
Yeah, just an old-fashioned love song playing on the.
I Really Got You. Yeah.
Yeah, I said now I just listen to jazz.
And you're like the non-alcohol version of Bosch now.
I've actually listened to Smart Pepper. It's good.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm thinking about it. Bosch Joe drinks, so he has a dog, and he listens to jazz. You don't drink, and you have a cat.
I said, I've just gone down the YouTube rabbit hole. There's a Blue Note channel on YouTube, and really? It just they have whole albums, and I'll if I play one, then like when you go back to the homepage and like the 8 videos pop up, one of them's going to be another one of those, and then another, and then I've got a rudimentary knowledge of these guys, but I've heard so much stuff I've never heard before. And I got a buddy that can find them all and download them for me. because some of this stuff isn't available on anything. But
did you see that list I put in there as Family Feud, the greatest rock and roll bands? Their list was on there. The categories. They answered. The answers were the Beatles with the most points with 23 points was the Beatles. The next was the Rolling Stones.
right,
AC/DC was on there.
I can see that.
Led Zeppelin.
See that?
Aerosmith.
That's a stretch, but
Kiss.
that's another stretch.
Queen.
Eh.
Metallica.
Okay, now I would have the Who on there before just about any of those others, but you can make cases for all of them.
I mean, Metallica was the lowest, so it was they had 5 points, but Aerosmith,
big Queen fan, not a big Metallica fan.
One of my favorite songs by Aerosmith is "Walk This Way" when they did with Run DMC.
Anything Aerosmith did before Done with Mirrors is awesome. When they were on drugs, they had some great stuff. Anything with Done with Mirrors afterwards sucks.
Yeah, you guys know album names. I just know greatest hits because that's how young I am.
Well, yeah,
I never went back and collected albums because
the early Aerosmith, to me, like the '70s stuff, like through Rocks, I really like a lot. Like Toys in the Attic is in my top 50 of all time, probably.
I've never been a person to get an album because every time I get an album from a band I like, I usually like 3 or 4 songs, and I have about maybe 15 or more or less. And so I just usually compile a list and then get a greatest hits, and then a lot of times I listen on YouTube now.
Okay, this is embarrassing. I'm watching. I turn back over because Carolina's getting beat so bad. I turn back over to the Dodgers Reds. Some guy just hit a home run for the Dodgers, and the graphics people don't even know his name, so they just put up Dodgers solo homer.
Oh, did they ever say Ferris? Or did he lose?
What's that?
Did Ferris lose?
Yeah, Geoff. Did I should have sports ball the other night. The Padres Angels. The losing pitcher was a guy named Ferris. The winning pitcher was a guy named Bueller.
Jesus Christ.
That's why I love sports.
Okay, let's go by. If you look at the chat right here, MKF was talking. It says rivalry between Metallica and Iron Maiden. No, it's more like Metallica and who's Dave Mustaine's band?
Megadeth.
That's more of the rivalry than Metallica and Maiden, I think.
And the Beatles and Stones didn't have a rivalry between, and the fans did.
No.
Yeah.
But like the Beatles and the Stones actually got along with each other, and they made sure they didn't release their albums at the same time to give the other ones a shot. It's like not putting out 2 blockbusters in the same week. Now, I mean, I can remember one night because back in the old day, in the days before Napster and downloading and CD burning, record stores used to have midnight sales.
Yeah.
And I remember one night the Metallica Binge and Purge box set, the Spaghetti Incident, and a new Pearl Jam came out the same day. And we opened at midnight. It was a lot of fun. Like when Springsteen released the 2 albums in the same day, we had a midnight sale for that. I miss those. I mean, I'm too old to do them now, but those were a lot of fun.
Did you hear about the Van Halen, the Alex and Wolfgang wanted to still go on tour? And you're speculating who would they get that go come with them? I mean, I know there's no beef between Sammy and Alex, as far as I know still. At least there wasn't with Eddie. They squashed that. But Dave cannot sing anymore. He's beyond. Diamond Dave is now Rusty Shackleford at this point.
Here's the thing. There's no point in. I mean,
I would do new songs.
If you want to go out and do that, fine. But the reason for the band existing is dead.
Yes, Eddie's gone.
The charismatic lead singer from when they were the most popular can't sing. And honestly, do you want to see 70-year-old David Lee Roth trying to do?
Well, I wouldn't.
He did 40 years
I would
ago?
bring in Sammy because Sammy's still singing, and Sammy still can still sing. Sammy's always been a singer. David's been a guy who speaks.
But again, I said at this point, yeah, Sammy's better off probably touring on his own.
He's been doing Chickenfoot with Mark Anthony.
Yeah, because without Eddie Van Halen, there's really no point.
Yeah, I think it's Mark Anthony, right? I was getting confused with J-Lo's ex-husband.
Michael Anthony is usually
Michael. Okay, Michael Anthony.
He has issues with the Van Halens as well.
They pushed him out when they brought in the son. So it was Eddie and his son, and he got shoved to the side. Plus, he also was he sided with Sammy because the thing is that him and Sammy wanted to go on tour originally, and that kind of led to the breakup because Alex did not want to go on the tour. He wanted to stay in the studio. He wanted to be with his family. And Eddie was getting over his addiction at the point. So, but I mean, they squashed it. As far as I know, they squashed their beef a long time ago. But here's the thing: if they do it, it'd be new songs. What they tried to do with David Lee Roth, a couple of years back, about 6 years, 7 years ago, I think it was almost now. But I would do it with Sammy, but it's not going to sound the same as it was. Van Halen was Eddie Van Halen. That guitar stuff. Now his son is talented, but nothing like his father. I honestly, I'm more excited to hear more stuff coming out from Chickenfoot, which is consisting of I think his name's Flea, the guy who was on the Chili Peppers, the drummer, and a few other ones. I think he also got a few other people in there in this super group. I have to look it up, but that's Sammy Hagar's band, and they put out some good stuff. But Van Halen going on tour again, it's not going to sound the same because you don't have that guitar style riffs that Eddie did. Eddie was special; he's one of a kind, and I don't. I said I've never liked cover bands because cover bands can never. No, if you're covering a song and you want to be different, make it better. That's one thing. A lot of times I see these bands cover songs and they just don't understand what made the song great, and they ruin it.
And I think Morania was just bringing something up. Halford, I think he can still hit those notes.
Right,
That Benatar, she still can belt that shit.
I wonder how many people are mad that Free became Bad Company. If there are a few people out there, because Free was pretty big too when they first started.
All right, name. I think there's only like 2 or 3 people who are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 3 times. Can you name one of them? It was Creed. I'm not for one of them. The name bands you just mentioned has one of the members.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No, it was Clapton. He's in the 3 times under two different bands and 2 different bands and then a solo act. And Henry Rollins, don't like his political point of view, but his stories are just incredible. So
Blues Brothers and Spinal Tap.
Those guys are really, really, really talented.
But
just not being, specialty acts.
All right, we've been going for a little over 2 hours now. Do you have anything else to add to this music conversation, Breen? Guess he stepped away. Delia has a great voice. Now I liked him at Van Halen, but if you heard him lately, he sounds nothing like he used to, and he was already rough when he had the VMAs when they played there.
Age will do that to you, man. You can't do the age. You can't hit the two. There's very few people who can hit the notes.
Because of Van Halen, Dave was the showman. He was a great entertainer showman. Sammy was the singer. Now you can argue that you like David more or you like Sammy more. It was still a good time. what sucked is when they got rid of both, and then they had the guy from Extreme as the lead singer for that 1 year.
Gary
That was an extremely bad choice.
He came down to Summerfest, and I was like, we're not going. What's the Coco report? What's the cat up to today?
Don't know.
There you go. There's your update. The cat's still missing. Tune in next week.
It's upstairs. Yeah. She's trying to lick my eyeball today.
Oh, nice.
That's first.
Maybe she thought you needed some cleaning. Cats have the cleanest tongues. It's also sandpaper, too.
I know.
Ugh. Did she actually do it?
No.
Oh.
I don't know if I close my eye in time, but it was weird. She's never climbed on me like that. Where if I'm laying down, she'll climb on my chest and lay down. But she's never like tried to climb up me when I'm sitting up.
Oh.
And she did that today, which is kind of weird, but I'm not used to it. But
sometimes cats want, when they show more affection or attention, they want, it could be just because they want more attention. Sometimes there might be something wrong,
I was looking for something, because that's what I called, my buddy that gave the cat to me, and anything that would be a sign that something's wrong isn't there. It's because there's ways to tell that, and I haven't seen him, but I still, since it's new to me, I wanted to double check.
How old is the cat?
Oh, it's 7.
7 years old. Okay. I know cats are curious. Cats will come up and stuff. So sometimes they'll do that. When they're younger, they're everywhere. They're running, climbing things, doing stuff. As they get older, they kind of get out of that habit. But some still, I know, will stay in that habit, which is really weird. But I was gonna say, if you're laying down and you open your eyes, I'm like, look, I can understand. But if she's climbing on top of you, maybe because she's like, can you turn off the sports and turn on something else?
Dad, why aren't we listening to jazz?
She's probably more like, it's like, was it today when you get angry at a game?
No, there was no. Wasn't angry. I'm not angry now. I mean, that's it.
No. I mean, like, because
she just
like cats will, if they sense that there's something wrong with you or anxieties.
When I've been like feeling crappy,
they climb on you,
over circumstances or whatever. It's weird. Like it's like they can sense it, but no. Today, today I was in a good mood, but
is the cat like streaky? No, it's brown and black and a little bit of orange on it, I think.
No, but it's weird though. She now, so I've been listening to so much jazz. Coco wears a little beret and chain smokes. Wow. And
does she play a little cello too?
She drinks espresso all day.
And it has and then goes out the other neighbor cats and sings songs to them.
Sits on the fence.
Oh my gosh, Tom and Jerry! I can't believe those are 40s, right? 1940s, 50s.
Yeah.
Dang. That was another thing. Look, when you're doom scrolling on Twitter because you can't sleep because you feel like crap. So I'm watching stuff and I came across a video when this orchestra was playing old Tom and Jerry music, which is it's going to be one of the hardest things to learn because the way it was orchestrated stuff, and they're playing. I was like, dang, that's really kind of cool.
Was it Raymond Scott?
I can't remember. I just saw the clip. I didn't see anybody's names.
They used to produce all that music for the cartoons.
Yeah.
They had a CD about 20, 30 years ago. I remember, but I haven't seen that in forever.
Well, that's kind of cool, though. I've always said, like, the orchestra stuff they use for all those cartoon animated stuff, it's like, people forget about that. It's like, they just watch, they more concerned, oh, yeah, Bugs Bunny's hilarious and laughing stuff, but it's the music they have in the background is just fantastic. Nowadays, I think most movie music you watch movies is all like computer generated. It's kind of like keyboard stuff, synth stuff. But I see some Italian player hit 3 home runs yesterday in a baseball classic.
Vinny Pasquantino. Never been done. in the World Baseball Classic.
Clicks your pause after poetry is read.
Yeah, a guy from Carolina just missed a bunny. Then Clemson went down, hit a 3 to go up 15. So I think it's safe to bid that game adieu.
Adieu.
Whatever else he says, and mwah!
And he's like, and as always, bang.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I think when your All-American breaks his thumb, I think you realize your season's over, and I think Carolina just folded the tent. They got crushed in their last game.
Yep.
They're getting crushed tonight, and they're going to lose in the first round of the tournament.
All right, so
they just don't care.
So as far as my PC goes, my PC, I noticed that it's not working well with Comixology when I'm using StreamYard. So I've noticed that what browser I use, all of them are using a lot of power from Mike Peter, So and that's probably because all the new AI built-in bullshit. They have all these browsers now. Everything's so complicated now. And so we're gonna start not using Comixology. We're gonna start going that's from panel to panel, but more like you see with the manga stuff you guys do, where you just scroll down. So until I get a new PC. So prepare for that. For those who have bad eyes, the scanlation is kind of bad. I'll try to get comic books that actually are actually good scans. But Mil Blanco's first voice actor credited in cartoons. They were cashing in his popularity on radio programs. Wow. I have that Raymond Scott CD. He got a boost when all his original recordings were used in Ren and Stimpy.
Good job, you.
Thanks.
No, the guy from the Reds. They got a guy named you.
Oh.
I'm not bothering to, learn who he is because we'll never see him again.
Well, if he gets a good he plays good, yeah, he's gone.
No, he's not in the plans. I mean, he's but I hope you do get good scans because if they're not, I won't be able to read because I have enough trouble with them now.
I know. Well, I'm thinking the World's Finest should have. I'm looking at those good scans. Now, the ones that have bad scans are the Flash comics. Those are ones that those are horrible. But yeah. Hey, here, this thing will save you some more money though. We'll be buying as many comic books. But yeah, I think we're out of here. I'm gonna go rest. Hang my head inside a bucket of water and try to flesh out all the fun stuff. I don't know. But we'll be back tomorrow night for another reading. I'm thinking we'll probably do a World's Finest. We haven't done those in a while. But until then, if you guys have not, click like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Check out our Ko-Fi link if you want to help support the channel. You can go towards my PC. Check out our other stuff. We just did last night did a live reading of the first 3 chapters of Volume 1 of Dan to Dan, a new popular anime. And check out some other stuff we did in the past readings. We did World's Finest, obviously the original Golden Age. We've done some Golden Age Flash and Hawkman. We've done Daredevil, Spider-Man, all the fun stuff on here. It's all organized. Justice League Unlimited, Justice League Adventures, Justice League Bahaha era, the JLA. So check out all our past readings of that. Leave a comment down below what you thought of this week's books. And if you are not if you're not buying new books, leave a comment as far as what you are picking up. If you are going to comic shops or if you're just going through your back issue bins and reading. Always like to see what you guys are up to. Until then, thank you, Geeky, for popping in here, bringing us your wisdom. And Eric Breen, as always, with your Tourette's when it comes to sports. And warning, the manga readings are not safe for work. Yes, Marani, that's true. They are not safe for work. They are very much adult. Not in the sense of like nudity and stuff like that, but more in the sense of what we talk about in innuendos. Yeah, we're the reading after dark, pretty much. Geeky Puppet Show after dark. So, all right. Till then, take care, be safe, And hope you guys stay healthy. I'll try not to share my cold a lot. Right now I'm quarantining myself in my room. Have a good night, guys.
Good night, everyone.